Hello, today we are going to work in a JavaScript project. This is going to be the project that we're going to be working today. This is a temperature conversion, and basically what it does is convert temperatures. If I tell you that the water boils to 100 Celsius degrees, 100, what is that in Fahrenheit? Well, you push this button right here and it tells you that it's 212. Also, if you hear in the news that today is going to be 87 Fahrenheit degrees, what is that in Celsius? Well, you put the 87 right here and you push Celsius, and it's going to be 30.56. And this is going to be a very simple project that it has. Let's going to review what it has. A box with a title and some text. Another box that it has a label, an input text, another label, and then two buttons. Then we have another label and an output box where the information is going to be displayed out, and another button to clean. And finally, we also have another box in the bottom with the information of the author. And that is the project that we're going to be building today. Okay, let's get coding. First, let's going to open our Atom. In the desktop, we know that we have the projects, and right there we have the projects that we did before. Okay, so today we're going to add a new folder. And this folder is going to call number 04, and it's going to call it temperature. Okay, we have it right here, and it's totally empty. We need to add some files. New file, index.html. We're going to create a style.css. And finally, we're going to create the code.js. And we have three files right there. Let's gonna start working in our index.html. And in this one right here, let's gonna create the boilerplate using the HTML, and then hit enter. And right there is the boilerplate. And we're gonna start just put it in temperature. Okay. And just for testing purposes, right here, I would like to put some text like H1 hello. Save the changes. You can do it by Control Save, or just push the keys Control and S. Right after that, let's gonna see what we have so far. Opening browser. Here it is. Temperature and hello. Okay, let's gonna go back to our place. Now let's gonna link the style CSS to our index.html. Right after the title, in that part right there, let's gonna put a link. And this link right here, let's gonna delete this part right here and put the name of the style CSS. Let's gonna work in the style CSS, and I'm gonna put it on this side right here so we can see it side by side. Body, background color, sky blue. Control save your changes. Let's gonna review what we have. And there you have it. Now it's connected. Finally, let's gonna also connect our JavaScript. And in this case, I'm gonna put my code right here. The way that we connect a JavaScript file is in any place. The way that we connect a JavaScript file, we need to add a script. There are many places where you can place it. The way that I like to put it is right after the closing tag of body. I just write script with source. And here in source, we put the source where the JavaScript code is going to be hosted, which in this case is in the same folder, temperature, but in the file code.js. So code.js. And let's gonna see if it's working. Let's gonna say console.log hello from GS, and save the changes. Let's go back, and in this place I'm gonna press the F12 key right now. In your browser, select this icon right here in the corner, and then go to More Tools, then Developer Tools. Click. This is a place where we have several tools that we can use later. Right now we're going to be using the console. Click Console. And now refresh the page. Can you see how it appears right here? Hello from GS. Exactly the text that we have right here. That's mean our CSS and our JavaScript have been linked to our index HTML. Now let's gonna start creating the site that we need. First of all, as you can see, we are gonna have one box that it has the title and some information. First, let's gonna delete the H1. We don't need it for the moment. Let's gonna make a little bit of room so we can see where exactly we are working. Let's gonna start with a div, and it's gonna give it a class of top and also grab. And right here inside, let's gonna have a H1 that it says temperature conversion. After that, we're gonna have the paragraph, and in this case, I'm only gonna paste the text. I'm gonna save the changes, and I'm gonna review what I have so far. And I have it right there. But it doesn't look exactly what we want it to look. Now, let's gonna work in the styling of the box who is containing the information. In our style CSS, let's gonna work in the wrap. Let's gonna give it a background color of aquamarine. Border 2 pixels, solid black. Padding 11 pixels. Width 50 BW. Margin 0 px auto. Now let's gonna work a little bit on the top as well. Top, margin 17 pixels. And auto. Let's gonna save the changes and see what we have. Now it looks much better, but all the information is to the left. Let's gonna fix that. Text, align, center. Refresh. Good. Now let's gonna work in the next part. The next part is gonna be a label, input box, and space. Let's gonna start with a div, and it's gonna have the class center and also wrap. We know that we start with a label. and we don't really need the for. So let's gonna get rid of the for, but what we do need is a class, and the class is gonna be label 1. And the text that we're gonna have right there is temperature to convert. Right after the label, we would like to push the then we are going to have an input. It's a text, and in this we don't really need a name, but we do need an ID. ID equals, open and close quotations, num1, as well as we would like to have a class. With the class input 1, and it's going to give it a second class that is going to be input general, input G. And let's going to save the changes. Review what we have. Refresh. Good. Now, but you see that we have the text and also the box in the same line. We would like to have it in a different line, like it is in this case right here. To do that, right after the label, let's gonna add a breaking line, BR, and let's gonna add 2 breaking lines after the input, so we have the space that we will need later. Save the changes. Let's review what we have. There you have it, right in the next line. Let's gonna start working, creating a little bit more of the infrastructure that we need. We need another label. Something that we can do is we can copy exactly the same label that we did before. We need one exactly the same, with the same class, just a different text. Convert to. And right after that, we need buttons. 2 of them. Button. We don't really need a name for this button, so let's go and delete the name. What we do need is a class, and the class is going to be button 1. And we need 2 of these buttons. I'm going to copy and paste right in the next line exactly the same. In the very first one, I'm going to put the word Celsius. In the second one, let's going to put the word Fahrenheit. And let's going to save the changes to see what we have. Okay, we have the place where we can put a number, and we have 2 buttons that we can push. Next thing that we need to do is another label and another input box. And this is very similar to this part right here, so I can just copy and paste the text. Before we do that, I need to add a couple of breaking lines. And I'm going to copy this text right here. Basically, the label along with the input. And then I'm going to modify it. So I have the label, which I also want label 1. But in this case, I want to change the text to say something different. The temperature conversion is the ID. It needs to change to number 2. And the input, I'm going to change to input 2 as well. And right after that, I'm going to add a breaking line. Save the changes. Review what we have. Okay, temperature convert to conversion is good. And finally, let's go to add another box with our information. Div, class, bottom, and wrap as well. Simple paragraph by Edmundo. Save changes. Do you see how we don't have a separation between this part right here that we used to have right here? This is because we don't have the margin and auto. To do this, I'm gonna cut this part right here and I'm gonna put it in the wrap class. Save the changes and refresh. And now it happened. I'm gonna delete the one that says stop because we don't really need it right now. And right now we have a very basic structure where we're gonna be able to start work